Extra, extra! Fairy tale news from Hidden Forest by Alma Florada. Illustrated by Leslie Tryon. Read by Vienna Vance. Hidden Forest News, Volume 203, Number 1, March 3rd. Mysterious plant causes alarm. Hidden Meadow. A huge vine, resembling an oversized beanstalk that reaches the clouds, seems to have grown overnight and is alarming residents in this quiet area of Hidden Forest. No such thing should be allowed to grow, expressed Mr. McGregor, the longtime owner of Mr. McGregor's farm. Nothing good can come of this. Beans are not supposed to grow this tall. No one knows what caused the plant to appear or to grow to its present size. It's a danger to us all, said Mrs. Bear, whose residence is close to the place where the plant suddenly sprouted. I have spent all day watching over Baby Bear, who was determined to climb up that plant. Have you noticed that it grows as if it were a stairway? Heaven only knows where it goes. A person could get killed falling off it. The closest neighbors to the giant beanstalk, Mrs. Blake and her son Jack, were not at home and could not be questioned about this unusual plant. Opinion Editorial. A Growing Menace by L. Feline, a.k.a. Mr. Cat. Many Hidden Forest neighbors have expressed their desire to get rid of the strange plant that has mysteriously appeared in Hidden Meadow. Anything we don't understand is dangerous. This was the opinion of Mr. Wolfie Lupus, seconded by his cousin Mr. Fur Ocious, who proposed that the plant be chopped down immediately. Others fear that a crop from such giant beanstalks could be detrimental to the agricultural business of the area. Mr. McGregor summed up the issue. This plant is unfair competition. It could produce more beans than my whole field. We support the idea of eliminating the threat. Let's continue our lives as we always have. Let's get rid of the menace. No, stop. Don't come any closer. This might be dangerous. Don't touch that. I'm worried. There's richness in diversity, by Hetty Henny. Being new and different doesn't necessarily mean that something is bad. The world is full of wonders waiting to be discovered. At the present moment, Hidden Forest has the opportunity to explore new species. We know that many new medicines can be extracted from plants. What if this surprising plant has the power to cure an illness? Could it, with its potentially large crop, be an answer to hunger and famine in the world? Our planet is rich in its diversity. There's not just one flower, but many of them. Roses, violets, carnations, lilies. There's not just one fish, but many of them. From sharks to goldfish. Why shouldn't there be all kinds of beans? We should wait and learn more about this plant before making a final decision. Wow, I'm curious. Very interesting. I'd like to have a closer look. International sports. Italian village concerned about fate of beloved toy maker. Italy. The toy shop of Mr. Geppetto has given joy to generations of children. An artist of great talent and craftsmanship. Mr. Geppetto is renowned for his wooden puppets, carved so realistically that they seem to be alive. The closing of his toy shop has brought about much concern. No one has heard from Mr. Geppetto since last Tuesday. Neighbors suggest that the toy maker may have gone in search of Pinocchio, a puppet he carved and looked after as if it were his own son. Pinocchio left for school on Monday morning and never returned home. The children of the town have taken up a collection to offer as a reward for anyone who could provide news of their beloved toy maker and his puppet. Amazing Chick sets out to visit capital, Mexico. The unique half-chicken, born on a farm on the outskirts of Guadalajara with just one leg, one wing, and one eye, has set out to visit the capital city of Mexico. When asked by our reporter why he wanted to undertake such a long trip, he answered, "I've been told I'm unique. Everyone says the capital city is unique. I want to see what makes us alike." Unusual race. A surprising race between the hare and the tortoise has been announced for tomorrow. Most bystanders interviewed by our reporter believe the tortoise has no possibility at all of winning this uneven race. But there are some among the crowd who have expressed their support for the tortoise as a very resilient and resourceful individual. Poll 100% 50-0. Tortoise will win, won't win. Hare will win, won't win. Rhyming contest. Discover the hidden poet in you. Send us 4 lines that give us your opinion of our newspaper. The winning entry will be published in an upcoming issue. First prize, a delicious carrot cake, donated by Mrs. Josephine Rabbit. Back page. Fur. Enjoy the luxury of a furry look. Instantly. Patches, ears, tails. Faux furs, custom made to your needs. Speedy Raccoon, Furrier. Forest Drive, Hidden Forest. Brick Lane, Masonry, Landscaping. Enrich your life with a stone fireplace. Beautify your home. Outdoor ovens, brick paths. Careful, detailed construction. Pig 3, Mason. Brick House, Woodsy Woods. Tag sale. Large assortment of binoculars, eyeglasses, and telescopes. Bargain prices. Mr. Fur Ocious, Majestic Tower, Hidden Lane, Wooden Heights. Forest News, Volume 203, Number 2, March 5th. Disappearance of boy linked to mystery plant. Jack shown above with family cow. Hidden meadow. Jack, the only son of Mrs. Blake, was last seen standing under the giant beanstalk that grew across the road from the Blake home. His disappearance seems to be connected with the huge plant, which has alarmed many residents of Hidden Forest. Jack has always been a good boy, said Mrs. Blake, although last Sunday he made me very upset when he traded our only cow for a bunch of beans. He always tries to do the right thing. I don't want to believe he has climbed up that plant, but he has never been gone this long before. Since he didn't come home last night, I haven't been able to stop worrying. While the neighbors demand that the plant be chopped down, Mrs. Blake insists it should stay. I won't let anybody take this plant down, she said. If Jack is up there, he'll need this plant to come back home. Beans traded for cow. Opinion editorial. Get rid of the threatening plant by L. Feline, aka Mr. Cat. The Hidden Forest neighbors who have proposed to chop down the unsightly plant that has invaded our community are convinced that they are right in calling it a threat. The disappearance of young Jack Blake is proof of the danger of the giant beanstalk. What would happen to our community, demanded Mr. Ferocious, if all young delicious morsels climb up that godforsaken vine? What will be left for respectable citizens like me to pursue? Good question. It may not be long before ambitious citizens like Mr. Ferocious and Mr. Wolfie Lupus take it upon themselves to bring down the encroaching plant. How many more youngsters need to disappear before we recognize the danger? Let's get rid of the menace now. Bad things are happening. It's all that plant's fault. It's a foolish debate. We must wait. By Hetty Henny. The large beanstalk is a magnificent sight to see. It is a reminder that giants live on our planet, sometimes in distant places like the towering redwoods and the majestic sequoias. Instead of being threatened by their size, we should stand in admiration of them. After all, we too seem giant to other living things, but we must all live in harmony. There is also another reason for not cutting down the beanstalk. A mother awaits the return of her son. He disappeared a few days ago, and she believes that he climbed the plant. How could we destroy his only means of coming home? We do not want to break up this happy family. There is talk of a search party planning to scale the stalk. It would be a dangerous mission, but Jack Blake must be found. International sports. Where is Geppetto? Return of the puppet Pinocchio clouded by Geppetto's absence. Italy. The puppet Pinocchio, who's missing for some time, returned yesterday to an empty home. A note left by Mr. Geppetto indicated that the toy maker was planning to make a raft and sail in search of his beloved son. Our correspondent approached Pinocchio as he stood watching the ocean from a high cliff. Poor father, I will find him, were his only words. The uncertain fate of Mr. Geppetto has brought concern to many children who are keeping lighted candles in their windows as a message of hope. Half Chicken stops along the way to show his kindness. Mexico. The reporter covering Half Chicken's trip to the capital city of Mexico reports that Half Chicken is not only a unique-looking creature but also a kind one. Although he is very intent on completing his trip and won't stop for sightseeing or recreation, he has made several stops along his way to come to the aid of wind, fire, and water. They will surely not forget him. Surprising results of yesterday's race. To the shock of most of the observers of yesterday's race, it was not the favorite, Hare, who won the bet, but the resilient and resourceful Tortoise. Cooperative farming. Join us in establishing a farming co-op and a farmer's market. Working together, we will achieve greater results. Notice, important meeting. Let's gather together to discuss the giant beanstalk's future. We should come to a decision as a community. All opinions are welcome. Meet at Community Hall, March 10th, 7 o'clock p.m. Potluck, next Thursday at 6 o'clock p.m. at Ms. Red Hen's house, Avenue of the Elms, Happy Valley. Child care with entertainment provided courtesy of Goldilocks and Little Red Riding Hood. Back page. Cooking lessons. Finger-licking recipes. Specializing in chicken. All classes with a banquet. We provide the instructions. You provide the ingredients. Wolfie Lupus. Wolf Lane, Oakshire. Papa Bear's birdhouses. All handmade. 1 bag of birdseed free with the purchase of a birdhouse. Special offer. Cure It All Clinic. We treat all your ailments. Experienced an unfortunate accident? Snared in your own traps? We'll take care of you. Turkey Lurkey, MD. Resident Physician. Ailments Road, Hidden Forest. Hidden Forest International News. Extra. Toymaker Geppetto and his son Pinocchio reunited in the entrails of a whale. Italy. A surprised fisherman found the toymaker Mr. Geppetto, who had disappeared for many days, and his son Pinocchio lying exhausted on a shore next to the remains of a makeshift raft.